Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me.
Pelican Bay K9s, giving it to you the way I always do. Fair, unbiased, raw and uncut, man. Got some dog talk to talk about, got some news to go over, some updates, and just some things to speak about amongst this dog community. I hope everybody having a great day, man, having a great evening. Like I always say, great morning. Just depends on when you're catching this video here. Hope everybody be taking care of them pets across the board, and big shout out to all my brothers and sisters down in the chat. And everybody that's watching this video from afar. You know what I'm saying? First thing I want to ask brothers, man, I want to ask this right here, right? Because I got the police call on me once again, and I'm about to talk about this real quick. I've spoke about this before, but y'all let some things y'all want to hear certain things, and certain things y'all don't want to hear. Certain things is interesting to y'all, certain things not interesting. Whether it's real or fake, it make no difference. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna speak on this right here. Got the police call on me again over the past 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And it goes like this. I have 10, 20 dogs, not taking care of them. I've heard, matter of fact, I'm gonna stick to one subject. We talking about this last call that just came in over the last 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? A regular city car came, and about 3 or 4 unmarked undercover agents came. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying, right? This is what this dog community is. This is what y'all is about, right? But I'm not gonna put this blame on the dog community. I'm gonna put this blame on folk that be wanting to be considered gangsters, folk that be wanting to always say street, this, street, that. That's why I tell you, that street stuff that y'all talk about, it ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Understand this. Like I said, I just called this morning to figure out, because I just heard about it yesterday. Oh man, police been in your house, all around your house, this and that and this and that. I'm like, what? Hey, nobody tell me? Okay, first thing I'm paying attention to, right? All right, next thing I noticed, so I'm wondering, like, okay, it's Sunday yesterday, so I called this morning. He said somebody called and said I wasn't taking care of my dogs. I got 10 dogs running loose. Now, normally, I would say it's them boys, y'all trolls and all that stuff like that. But see, this been going down before I got my YouTube channel. This been going down before I got my YouTube channel. It comes from folk want to have that street reputation. Sometimes you got to understand, is you going to be a man or is you want to be a gangster? You want to be street. He want to be known for that street reputation, you know what I'm saying, which you don't got. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, man, it's sad because, like I said, this is the third time this happened. The first time it happened, I didn't even have one dog in the yard. So it's not the YouTube, even though I know the YouTube people do, it might be y'all calls as well, but this call came from my side. You know what I'm saying? See, I had 10 dogs running loose, wasn't taking care of them. Police pull up in my front yard. I was, just so happened this time, I was outside. You know what I'm saying? He said he come to check about the dogs and stuff. I'm like, dogs? Shit, I don't even have one dog in the yard. No water buckets, no food. Not one dog. He walked back there. He like, well, Then the second time happened, which the brother was already hipped on what was going on. Oh, so and so called, say you want taking care of your dogs, this and that, this and that, this and that. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool. He said, I looked at all your dogs, everything's straight. I'm sit here and smoke this cigarette for a few minutes, and then I'm out. He smoked this cigarette, he rolled out, and that was the second time. Now, just yesterday, I'm walking my dog, somebody put me on to it, man, police been around your house. So I called yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. I couldn't reach nobody. I called this morning. Figure out what they coming to my house for. You know. Oh, somebody called and say you had some dogs out there, this and that, and blah blah blah. I say, and they said, and I didn't have to say anything. They said, but we seen everything was straight. Okay. Now this is why I say karma is a mother sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Karma is a mother sometimes, because at the end of the day, when they called on my dogs, I wasn't around, or either I was in the house or something. I didn't come to the door. I never knew they was out there. But when they came, they ended up taking one of their dogs. But it's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? I just do what I do. Keep making them hate. You know what I'm saying? Keep making them hate, whether it's the junkies or the flunkies. Either way it go, we on a whole nother level out here. You know what I'm saying? Your hate can't stop it. You know? It's gonna be what it's gonna be, man. Some of y'all, like I said, a lot of imitators, wannabes, and all other kind of things. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be built for this shit. You gotta have it in you. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing you can purchase. You know, you got to have it in you. When we say bulldogging is a way of life, it's because you got to have it in you. You can't purchase that shit. You can't go buy 10 dogs and thinking you know you're gonna purchase that it factor. You got to have it. You can't just take a picture of a dog and thinking, oh, you got it. See, that's the difference, and that's why I keep telling brothers, some dogs, pedigrees look good, but do the owners got it? What the owner gonna do with that dog? What the owner gonna make that dog into? Yeah, I did all this damn hard ass work to make this good ass breeding, just for what? The owner to fuck them up? Every owner ain't the same. We can get it in our head already that every dog ain't the same, but somehow or another, like I always say, because something worked for you, you feel like it gotta work for another man who you don't even know if the man taking care of his dog the way he's supposed to be taking care of him. But when it comes to dogs, dogs don't get that break. If it worked for you, it gotta work for you, it gotta work for you, and it gotta work for you. No matter how y'all treating y'all dogs, that's the mentality this dog community got. But we gonna get onto some other dog talk real quick, man. And I want to ask brothers, you know, like I said, big salute to the brothers and sisters down in the chat. Y'all hit that like button up, man. Y'all hit that like button up. First thing I want to ask, man, you know, because I see they hate and they mad. Like they say, if you ain't got no haters, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no haters, what you doing? But my thing is, I want to ask brothers, because we were talking about the 3-hour dogs and all that. So we're going to keep it going and talk about some other things right now. You know, when we talk about heavy mouth dogs, right? Dogs with heavy mouth that would for sure stop dogs. You know, what's the worst? What's a nightmare for a heavy mouth dog? This is what I'm asking my brothers and sisters in the chat. What's the kryptonite to a heavy mouth dog that knows how to lay it down and knows how to do what he got to do and get it over with? What's his kryptonite? And like I said, this is barbershop talk questions. You know, it's not like saying, oh, what I'm saying is, you know, fact or right. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be right. The only answer for it. You know, everybody gonna have their opinion when it comes to this stuff. So what's the kryptonite to a hard mouth dog? Is it a game dog? You know, is it? And this is the thing I want to ask brothers, is what I'm getting to, right? When it comes to a game dog, you know, say, you know, is he considered smart if he never goes on an offensive? You know, and then we give these dogs names, is what I'm trying to get to, right? We call him dumb. He's game, but he's dumb because he don't have a lot of offensive. But what if his style is to be defensive the whole time? Don't have no offense, just backpedal, stay away, stay out of trouble. You know, what do we call these kind of dogs? You know, do we call the dog smart because he knows how to stay out of trouble, but he don't know how to give trouble? Do we call dogs smart that get it over fast? What brings the title smartness to a dog back in them days when it came to the square? And that way we can understand what kind of dog Bolio it was, or different dogs that was considered smart dogs throughout the days, or super smart lines throughout the days. We can kind of know what y'all or whoever seen these dogs were looking at. You know what I'm saying? Was it the fact that he stayed out of trouble? Was it the fact he didn't take too much damage? What about the one who know how to give damage? What about the one who go and give damage in the right places to get it over with fast? And like I said, I'm just asking questions, and it all starts from, what is the kryptonite of a hard mouth dog? And like I said, game is a game dog, the kryptonite for a hard mouth dog. Which one are you more impressed with? The one with the scars all on them, or the one who won at the end? And if you go back and listen to some of them old videos like brothers be doing, the Mayfield videos and different ones, you listen to certain things that the brother be saying when it comes to not the actual pedigree, but just some of the lingo he be talking about. Like when he said certain dogs, they weren't schooled out for the match. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know brothers just weren't taking these dogs with no schooling and then trying to say whether he's smart or whether he dumb or whether he game or whether he know how to handle this particular situation he get in. Brothers school the dogs out. That's the whole point of making a smart dog. The dog who got the most schooling, this is not all the time true, but it's strong. The dog that has the most schooling, it's gonna be a hard dog to deal with at the end of the day. If he got the owner, where the owner got the proper keep on him, you know what I'm saying? And he's got the proper schooling to where, he done seen it all. He done seen it all. And that's why I always say, they can say what they want to say about the brothers who do it anytime. You roll up on them, they do it. You can say what you want to say about them brothers, you know what I'm saying? But we've been there, did that, and that type of mentality back then will get you a smart dog if you did it and put your dog in the situation to be on the even playing field or at least win, And this is the thing, brothers will show up anytime, and you have to be very, very careful back then, because a brother will show up with a dog that's already in shape on you. You got to know how to peep game. You got to know how to know when, like they say, when to fold them and when to hold them. You know what I'm saying? So if a brother just act like he was targeting you or something, you have to know how to spot all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And know when it's just, oh, he ain't got nothing work or whatever. He coming straight off just like me, But what if the smart dog isn't game? Does every smart dog have to be game? So if I'm coming to buy puppies from a person back then and it was like, oh, they super smart with tremendous mouth, but they aren't game, which is the number one thing that the dog's supposed to possess back in them days. We seem to accumulate all these other traits and we keep wanting to leave out that big G word. You know what I'm saying? Game. Oh, you're worried about, who got champions on the yard, who got this on your yard, who got that on your yard. Man, how many champions and G champions and whatever kind of champions that have y'all popped up with over the past 10 years? Why the hell is you still worrying about what's on somebody else's yard when you ain't accumulating shit? Like I said before, man, sometimes I speak to brothers across the country about breeding, right? And we steadily want to, they got to show me this, they got to show, okay, cool, I understand that, right? But at some point, you must switch up on your line. All they did was backpedal the whole show, game enough to scratch, scratch, backpedal, scratch, and they ain't grabbing face, they grabbing ears. grabbing the ear and take hold and backpedal. Stay up out of it. Tuck it, swing it, stay up out of it. Are there any grand champions and champions that did this pretty much the whole role? Like I said, man, we have so many different opinions when it comes to these dogs, and a story can get, you know how a story get twisted up when it go from one person to the next. So imagine when it go from thousands and thousands of people to thousands of people from year after year after year, 10 years, 20 years down the line. Once a story get to you, how much it done changed. You know what I'm saying? All them stories that we hear, we don't even know if half them stories went the way they went, you know? Yeah, you got you some that was documented in the sport and dog journals and stuff like that, but we talking about the ones that wasn't, you know? By the time we heard it, the dog that lost is the dog that won. If you tell you the real truth, the other dog would have won. Let's just use an example. How they say Bully Son on one of them. By the time we heard the story, it might have been on the bad end of Bully Son. When it happened, Bully Son might have been the one winning. You know, a story will change, man, over a period of time. You know, even though he might have made a bad sign, and by time and the dude feel like he wanted to stop the road or pick him up, and by the time we heard the story, Bully Son done jumped the box and did all kind of shit. But all the man did was pick them up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that, man. You know, what's the kryptonite for a hard mouth dog? A smart dog, a game dog, and like I said, what if a smart dog isn't game? You know, and just because he's smart doesn't mean he has to be game. And if he's not game, does that mean he can't be smart? You know, and you know, some of this stuff, you can't be one without being the other. You know, I'm just asking, brothers, and throwing it out there, you know what I'm saying? Just asking and throwing it out there. Hit me up with some of them answers, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get into some dog fighting stuff and rest and different things. I'm going to give you an update from the situation in South Carolina. What I want you to do is listen to one thing, you know, listen to one thing. You can listen to the whole article, of course, but listen to one thing, and this is something I noticed new that they're saying now, you know, and it may be something that, you know, the whole dog community need to hear. You know what I'm saying? And it's something everybody should have been doing or supposed to be doing, but you know how it go. So what I want y'all to do is sit back and just check this video out, man. We're coming from Goose Creek, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to speak about it when we're done.
A Goose Creek man faces over 100 counts in connection with an animal cruelty case. Quentin Roderick Reed, 42, is charged with 50 counts of rabies control chapter violation and 49 counts of ill treatment of animals with torture. Quentin Roderick Reed, 42, is charged with 50 counts of rabies control chapter violation and 49 counts of ill treatment of animals with torture. Berkeley County Sheriff's Office. The Berkeley County Sheriff's Office received a tip back in July about possible dogfighting activity at a Goose Creek house. Upon arrival, they discovered more than 50 dogs living in deplorable conditions. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals was also called to the scene to assist in rescuing the dogs and puppies from the conditions. The Berkeley County Sheriff's Office and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals were able to rescue the dogs and puppies from the conditions. Berkeley County Sheriff's Office. I think it matters how many times you've seen animals living in these sorts of conditions. It hurts every single time. Amanda Krachinski, Senior Director of Operations of the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, said, "The dogs were exposed to the environment, with some being chained to the ground. The exposure to the elements is the biggest concern that we see in situations like this, where they don't have a proper way for them to escape if there's severe rain or snow or hail or anything like that," Krachinski said. When inspecting the property, workers found certain items that suggested there was dogfighting. The paraphernalia we found on the scene included a treadmill, a breeding stand, and other drugs and supplements for these dogs. Some of these dogs also had scarring that was indicative of dogfighting, unfortunately, Krachinski said. Many of the dogs were malnourished and dehydrated, and some of them were in critical condition with a long recovery ahead for them. 4 of the dogs actually had to be removed as quickly as possible to receive emergency veterinary care because of the conditions they were in, she said. So they'll undergo forensic veterinary examinations. They'll go through behavior evaluations and continue to receive the care that they need while we wait for the court to determine disposition. Deputies also charge Reed following their narcotics discovery with trafficking marijuana over 100 pounds, possession with the intent to distribute cocaine, possession with the intent to distribute crack, 3 counts of possession of a stolen firearm, and 6 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. They also located approximately 118 pounds of marijuana, 4.5 grams of crack, 7.8 grams of cocaine, 3 stolen guns, 4 guns, 36 dosage units of a scheduled narcotic, and approximately $3,842 in cash. They also seized a 2021 Ram diesel Simmons truck. Animal cruelty will not be tolerated in Berkeley County, Sheriff Dwayne Lewis stated. The conditions we discovered were inexcusable, but a quick start to the investigation allowed deputies to rescue the animals and bring the suspect to justice. This case is a reminder that cruelty of any kind has no place in our community, and those responsible will be held accountable. Reed was being held at the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office. Deputies continue to investigate the incident.
That's pretty much one of the first videos that I did, that they were stressing about the rabies shots and stuff like that. And that's stuff that you're supposed to have all the time. They always tell you that. But what I want you to pay attention to is now they're starting to speak about it in the dog fighting situations. You know what I'm saying? So that's more things and more money you got to pay and more things, that'll go against you when you're in that type of situation. You know what I'm saying? 50 dogs with rabies shots, that's going to be some thousands. You know what I'm saying? 40 dogs with rabies shots or something like that. We talking about from them. You can take them 40 dogs and go get rabies shots yourself, and you ain't gonna pay that much. Maybe $10 a shot. If a little more than that. Especially sometimes they have these free clinics and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But once they get them and they give them the rabies shots, boy, 40 dog, 50 dog rabies shots, you talking about some money. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I just wanted to speak on that. And the other thing, now, let's get to this other situation. I thought I gave y'all all the dog fighting butts, and I may have gave you this, but I don't remember seeing the pictures that I'm about to show you with this article. So, you know what I'm saying, dog fighting butts in Beaumont. You know what I'm saying, Beaumont. I'm not sure what state this is, but the folk will know where it's at, whoever state it is. Beaumont, you know what I'm saying? Dog fighting situation or dog fighting arrest earlier this month right here, early part of October. It's your boy K9s. Y'all check this out, man, and we're going to get back into this dog talk when we're done.
Beaumont Animal Care has seized 32 dogs from a suspected fighting and breeding compound on Pine Street after executing a search warrant earlier this week. The city first learned of the location in early September when an animal control officer responded to a report of possible hoarding and dogfighting on Pine Street. Once there, the officer found dogs living in unsafe conditions with disturbing signs of organized dogfighting and breeding, according to a social media post from Beaumont Animal Care. A seizure warrant was then secured, and on Tuesday, Beaumont Animal Care took all 32 dogs off the property. The seizure included 4 litters of puppies totaling 20 dogs, with an additional 12 adult dogs. 4 of the dogs received medical care for injuries consistent with fighting and neglect. Beaumont Animal Care said it also discovered weighted collars, treadmills, and injectable antibiotics, all of which are evidence often linked to dogfighting. A hearing is scheduled for October 7th in Justice of the Peace Ben Collins Court to determine custody of the animals. Until then, all 32 dogs will stay in Beaumont Animal Care's custody. Those with information about the case are asked to contact Beaumont Animal Care at 409-838-3304 or anonymously through Crime Stoppers at 409-833-8477. These dogs deserve justice. They deserve safety. And most of all, they deserve the chance at a loving home and a future far away from cruelty, Beaumont Animal Care wrote in the Post.
It's crazy out here in this dog game, man. It's crazy out here in this dog game. So many emotions, so many, like I said, so many people that trying to skip the line. You know what I'm saying? They think it's so easy to do certain things, ain't willing to put in the work to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, that's the main problem. Y'all look at that protection work stuff. Look at that just like the dog game. Everybody want a dog that bites somebody, but nobody want to start from sit, stay, down, heel. Nobody want to do all that training. That's the boring shit. That's the shit that nobody want to do. You know, that's the hard work. Everybody want that dog to be looking good, to go and attack somebody. You know what I'm saying? Going to grab somebody. They want to jump straight to that part when they work, get their dog. Especially when if I sell somebody a Malinois, they automatically want to start training them protection work. Don't want to start from the base, from the ground up. And that's the way you do it, man. You know, that's the way you do it with anything, you know what I'm saying? You know, and with these dogs out here. Like I said, man, y'all brothers and sisters out there calling the police, you know what I'm saying? Then, and like I said, and I speak to y'all dog community because y'all the worst motherfuckers with this shit. Slinging them folk name around here and there, and then the main ones calling the police, blocking my channels out, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Calling the YouTube police on me and calling the real police on me. You know what I'm saying? Doing all y'all can do. And then you want to get mad and talk about, act like, you know what I'm saying, why I shouldn't be nominated for the top 3, top 4 channels. Put in that work, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, you know, when it comes to the dog game, you ain't gonna make it off of trolling. You ain't gonna make it off of knocking somebody else when you ain't got no credentials or none of that type of shit to stand on. It ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Salute to them dog brothers out there doing the right things with these dogs out here, man. And doing the right things, you know, on these channels. When I say right things, I mean talking about positive, talking about things that can benefit these brothers in this dog community. Hard mouth and gameness and different things. Out of all that stuff, how much of that stuff can you actually breed into your dog and know that you breeding this into your dog? You know, let's just name the things. Smartness. Can you breed smartness into your dog? Does your dog just automatically leave from between your legs and go become a grand champion? Can you breed smartness into your dog? How would you know your dog is smart if you don't touch him? How would you know your dog is carrying a gene that has, you know, that he is smarter than your average dog? Mouth. Can you breed mouth? Can you breed mouth and pass it down from generation to generation to generation to generation? Gameness. Can you breed gameness? We already know you can breed gameness and keep that into the family, breeding after breeding after breeding. You know, ability. Can you breed ability? Do the litters off the offspring come out with just as much ability as the father and the dam had? You know. Like, you know, say the mama and the daddy is finishers. Does that mean the offspring gonna be finishers? See, I'm gonna give you an example during my time, you know what I'm saying? My schooling made my dog into a finisher. The type of schooling that I did with my dog made him into a finisher. You know what I'm saying? It's like I taught him how to be a finisher. Not saying he wasn't gonna be, but if I look back on it, if I wouldn't have taught him to be a finisher, then he probably would have just been a good dog, you know what I'm saying? But not knowing how to finish. So can I breed that into them? All the breeding I did with Bo, I didn't get no finishers the way I got off him. Because they didn't go through the same training that he went through. for one. And I bred him nothing but dogs into his, I bred him with crossroad dogs and, a few, different other strains of dogs or whatever. But for the most part, all good breedings. I bred him with some of Mayday daughters, granddaughters, all good breedings. But me, myself, personally, I think I had about 10 dogs off both altogether. Out of the breedings I did. I'm talking about after, once, get rid of the puppies or whatever. And like I said, I wasn't a real big breeder back then. I was a performer. I wasn't putting the time to make sure my litters live. You know what I'm saying? Besides when I had the one off bow, when I bred them back to the dog off toe jam, which would have been a yellow daughter, when I bred them back to that one, that's when I stayed in the house and took care. I had 2 puppies off that litter. One ended up living, and I named him Crossbow. I kept him for a while. He did pretty good. He had a little too much lay down in him for me. I ended up selling him to one of my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. What can you breed into these dogs that can go down from litter to litter, genetically wise? Gameness? Yeah. Mouth? I don't think so. Could be wrong, but I don't think you can pinpoint mouth like you can pinpoint gameness. You can breed 2 high game dogs and you hoping they come out just like the mama and the daddy. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have a high chance of coming out with some good game dogs if both these dogs game. Now, both of them can have mouth. I haven't seen that mouth transfer the way that game transferred. And like I said, I could be wrong. Smartness, I feel like, is something you teach a dog. You can't just have a child and think she gonna know all the stuff from the first to the second, or he gonna know everything from the first to the 12th grade. Excuse me, from the first to the 12th grade, and then he never go to school. He just live life and show up at 17 years old and sit down at the table with a 17-year-old that been to school all his life and see how much he know when it comes to book smarts. When it comes to being social. A person that never go to school at all is going to be a whole lot less social than a person that go all 12 years of school. You can homeschool that person from the time they're in 1st grade to 12th. They can have their friends on the outside, their friends at home and all that stuff. But they will not be as social as the child who went to school from 1st to 12th grade, because they were schooled out to be social. Talking to all kind of kids, all races, all different, living all kind of ways. All different kind of personalities. Learning how to be obedient from different people, not just your mother. Learning how to be a real bulldog around anybody and not just at home. Not just around your owner. Then you get around other people, your owner start looking funny. I see that look in your eyes, man. You don't look that confident as you used to look. Man, he ain't acting the same. I don't know what's wrong with him today. I had him around a girl dog, that believe that girl dog and heat. Start putting it on a girl dog and heat and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, what is the kryptonite for a hard-mouthed dog? And have y'all ever seen a dog with tremendous, I'm talking about tremendous mouth, and in the first 15 minutes, you knew you was in trouble with your tremendous mouth? And I'm gonna tell you why you knew you was in trouble. Because the stuff you normally seen that dog do, the other dog stayed out of it quick. He maybe felt 1 or 2 bites and got up out of there quick. Start playing defense and offense. Put your dog in a situation you ain't never seen before with all that mouth. Now, when you get in situations you never seen before and your dog is known for mouth and not known to be game, you start worrying. You be the first one to pick up. All y'all want to carry all that heavy mouth. Just like the brothers that talk all the time. Talk, and they ain't gonna do shit. Heavy mouth. Once that mouth gone, that's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Once that mouth gone, that's a wrap. And mouth gone don't mean you tired. If I take that mouth away from you early, it's gonna confuse you, it's gonna frustrate you. When a dog can't get his favorite moves, he go to his second favorite move. Some dogs do, not all dogs, some dogs. Go to his second. He can't get his second way he wanted, he go to his third. Some dogs, when they can't get their first, they get frustrated. Now they start making unpredictable moves. Like I said, y'all hit that like button if you want to donate to the channel, $ Pelican Bay Kennel, capital P, capital B, capital K. Big salute to my man Mitch out there. Big salute to John Denver. Hey, Mitch, hit me up, man. I've been trying to get in touch with you. Like I said, I hit your number up. I don't know if you changed. I hit your Facebook Messenger up. You know what I'm saying? But you hit me up on YouTube. You know, call my number. My number's still the same. You know what I'm saying? Or either call me or hit me up on Facebook Messenger. You know. But big salute to them brothers. Be rocking with me down in chat all the time, man. And doing what they got to do with these dogs out here. You know, like I said, would you rather have a hard mouth smart dog? You know, and this is why I say before, man, there's a very thin line, very, very thin line between smart and game, a game dog, a smart dog and a game dog. It just depends on who looking at it and what they looking for. You know what I'm saying? Very thin line, because if this dog stays out of trouble, don't have any too much offense, and like I said, he's steady scratching. If it came down to it, he pushing hard. No offense, but he's staying out of trouble and he's smart. But is he game? Is he game just because he keeps coming? You know? And like I said, sometimes a smart dog know how to preserve his wind. That's when they say, oh, these dogs naturally winded. These dogs naturally winded. Maybe it ain't that they just naturally winded. Maybe they smart enough to know how to use their wind. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever thought about it in that way? It ain't just a dog that's gonna come out here and get it over with. They ain't got nothing left. The dogs come out and they pace themselves. They give it hard sometimes, but they pace themselves. You get your barnstormers and things like that. You're gonna always get your barnstormers, you know, but they pace themselves. You know what I'm saying? You know, what kind of lungs do a red boy Jocko dog got compared to an Eli dog? Now, I will say this, some of the body frames of some of these dogs are bigger, which means they would have bigger lungs, you know, bigger lung capacity. So if you got a dog with a huge lung capacity going against a dog with some small lungs, I mean, you got to look at it like that. It ain't that the dog got naturally built in wind. You just putting them on a bigger dog that naturally has bigger lungs. You know, and he can take in more air. Now, that don't mean he's gonna outperform you. Small man can always outperform the tall marathon runner. You know, you 5'5" and he 6'5" or 6'7", and you know his lungs gonna be bigger. But that don't mean he gonna outrun him at the end of the day or outlast him in that marathon. You know what I'm saying? So when we say naturally long-winded, we always use that phrase for the red boy Jocko dogs and the yellow dogs and stuff like that. Straight off the chain, them dogs will go an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? 2 hours, straight off the chain. You know, or them the dogs you could take straight off the chain and put them on dogs that have been in the keep already, because they naturally winded. Naturally, they just can go for a long time without even working them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just sometimes, man, we take these phrases and we really go a little overboard with them. We take these titles that we give the brothers, we go overboard with them. You know what I'm saying? We take these dogs and we read these pedigrees and we go overboard with them because the dog ain't worth what the pedigree worth. You know what I'm saying? The pedigree look good, but the dog ain't been bred for performance the way the pedigree say. You know? I'ma always stand on it, man. They can say what they want to say about the Big John stuff, but it's bred for performance. I can take them dogs and I can compete in any event that any brother have. Whether, like I always say, confirmation, weight pull, they bred for performance. I can go hog hunting with them. You know what I'm saying? I can do apprehension work with them. They bred for performance. They ain't bred for performance off Big John. They bred for performance litter after litter after litter. And that way, I'm blessed to make my litter and know its consistency gonna be there. Because at the end of the day, it's about consistency. It ain't about hoping. You know, we make our stats and statistics off of actual puppies, actual dogs. Not because, oh, it's a Jeep dog, you should get at least 1 or 2 good dogs in it, in the litter. Or it's a Mayday dog, you should get at least 1 or 2 good dogs in it. Nah, man. And like I said, looking at these dogs around the board, around the world, in today's time, the most important thing to me right now in a dog is his production. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 things. I'm gonna say it like this, right? The most important things to me in a dog is, first, whether I like him or not, and what's gonna make me like him is the fact of how he's acting. You know what I'm saying? How he's acting, his performance, and his production. I don't care about, and I do care about the pedigree, but at the same time, I done seen it, I done did it, and you'll get lost in the sauce running after them pedigrees. You run after the dog, you run after the dog themselves, and I'm gonna say this, and this may sound crazy. You may run after a dog themselves, and it may take you outside of the papers that you're dealing with, or the papers that you want, or papers at all. And that might be the best dog you could ever cross in your damn life, and 100 more people standing beside you. You know what I'm saying? But chasing them pedigrees always leads you the wrong direction. Half of these brothers, they know more about the pets than they know about the actual dog game. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know about the dog game, you don't know what it takes to make these pairs the way they made these pairs. You're just looking at them, hoping they got a picture up there, and oh, this off Mayday, or this off Barracuda, or this off so and so and so and so. Like I said before, you know what I'm saying? Know the family you're dealing with, know the kind of dogs you're dealing with out here. You know, that's what it's all about, man. If you ain't doing that, then shit, you just reading peds. I mean, you got to start somewhere, but if you're gonna start somewhere, read them peds and pay attention to them dogs. You know what I'm saying? Keep taking care of them dogs, man, out there across the board. Keep building up them haters across the board to the brothers that's doing the right things out here. Just remember, if you're trying to do something right out here and you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Some of them boys, them flunky channels, they ain't got no haters. And they ain't doing shit. They ain't making no noise. They ain't got no motion. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got no motion. Here today, gone tomorrow. PB K9s, man. Y'all stay legal, y'all stay safe, and I'm out.